Hello there, yarn lovers. It's Gary, and I'm coming to you from my happy place, the Yarn Corner here on the west coast of Canada. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Today is Thursday, June the 6th, 2024. How are you all doing? I hope you're well and staying safe. If you're happening across this channel for the very first time, I've set it up to talk about all of my yarning adventures. That's in knitting and crochet. I also talk about my acquisitions, where I purchase my yarn from, and tools of my craft. So if that is of interest, please stick around. And for those returning, I want to say welcome back. I've really appreciated your time that you've spent with me, and also the comments that you leave me in the videos. I know that it's been a busy few months, a few weeks, and here we are sitting in June. Where has the time gone? So yes, today it is an exciting day. I am going to be opening up and talking about the mood board mail for the summer issue of 2024. So I'm using the hashtag moodboardmail summer 24, and it's going to have a different theme from what we've done in the past. I'm opening it up today and it will go on till August the 15th. So that's over 8 weeks, because we go out and we do things with our families. In the Northern Hemisphere, we are embarking on summer. So we will be kind of in and out of the house, doing things, going on holidays. So I wanted to extend it a little longer and making sure that everyone can get their works in on time. So at the end of this, I will conclude, after the August 15th entries have been submitted, I will do the slideshow presentation again and do a photograph of the mood board and a photograph of the make that you're going to be doing. Okay, so let's start looking at what a mood board is. For those of us who haven't done a mood board before, you'll see examples of it as well, but let me verbalize as best as I can what a mood board is. A mood board is an area where you stick down or you paste or you collect images that inspire you, textures, colors, put it all down on a collage type effect, and then when you look back and stand back, it's part of your expression on your exploration to see what it is, that emotion that you're trying to evoke. So that's what a mood board is, and that will be one file that I will ask for you to submit if you are willing to join. Now, the mood board is something that you bounce off to pick your colors from. If you're looking at patterns, perhaps maybe there are some type of stylistic approaches in the pattern that really resemble your mood board to help evoke that emotion that you're putting down in your mood board. And it can translate to what kind of yarn that you want to use, whether it's fuzzy and textured and soft, or if it's something a bit more robust and has great stitch definition. So it all compiles to the same thing. So that's what a mood board is. So I'll be looking for that file and I'll show you examples coming up now, but also I'll be looking for a photograph of the make that you are submitting as well that associates with that mood board. So there'll be two files together. Okay, so let's talk about the theme. In this one, I'm super excited about it. It is going to be called The Architect to Emotion. So we're going to be the architects. We're going to be looking at spaces and places that evoke special memories, special feelings within us, and we're going to be capturing those in our mood board. So we're going to be looking at stills or photographs or little notations or drawings of the architectural construction that is in those spaces that we love visiting or submerging ourselves in. And then we're going to pull out that emotion from those spaces. So I have a few here to show you, and I will put the digital display up in front of my face as I'm talking. I know we're going to be disengaged for a little while. And on the mood board, you'll see 3 keywords. Now, you don't need to use 3 keywords. You could just use 1 keyword when you're creating your own mood board. And the nice thing about this is if you can't come up with any ideas, I'm welcoming you to choose one of my own mood boards so that you can work up a project that perhaps maybe inspires you from my mood board. So if you are wanting to use one of my mood boards within this make along, then when you're submitting your photograph of your make, just let me know which one it is. And there'll be a list down below to identify which mood board belongs to, I guess, like if you want the words, but you can just see them as well for yourself and write them down if you want to use one of these ones. So the first one I've got for you, I've actually carried all the way through and to a finished work. So you'll see it all throughout its entirety. Then I'm going to give you 3 other options. So there'll be 4 altogether. And I'm only going to be working up 1 during the course of the make along. Maybe 2 if I can, but we'll see. So the first one I'm going to show you, okay, it's going to come up here on the screen. I am calling this mood board Unification, Belonging and Inclusion. So all of these snippets that I've put together are Rossetti inspired mandala plaster casts. Generally, you'll see them on ceilings, maybe with light fixtures that are coming out. Sometimes you'll see this around special items of note, like maybe there's an attractive fireplace that might have some plaster cast molding around it. So architecturally, that's what I'm looking at. Sometimes when you go to the theater, you might see some of these wonderful plaster cast ornate things. Hopefully, Editing Gary has taken off the first mood board and I can show you the pattern that I chose, the yarn, and then the finished project, because this is the completed one that I've done and I have been showcasing it in my episodes of updates, so you probably will be familiar with it, but it hasn't been presented yet completed. So in that first mood board, it was all about plaster cast molding, and generally when I get a sense of that unification and beauty, I remember going to the theater and looking up and seeing a lot of those Rossetti plaster cast moldings around light fixtures. So this is the pattern that I chose to represent that feeling, and it's called the Novella Tom 1. It is a pattern that's designed by the team Yaga Yaga Design, and they're over in Poland. It's heavily charted, it's a paid for pattern, it's crochet, and I would say that there's probably a little bit of description in there in English to read the legend of all the symbols, and then some repeat instructions, but very much heavily charted, and I liked working on it. And I chose it because it did remind me a lot of plaster cast molds with all the fruit and the lushness of it. There's traveling post stitching that go into more like archways and leaves. There's bubble stitches that look like, to me, that there are bits of fruit in there. So I think it's a bountiful type of project that leaves the mind boggling with all of the wonderful shapes and things that you see within it. So that was a pattern. The yarn that I chose, predominantly, I wanted to use all of the Stanley Tweed Muffin, and that's the colorway there. Actually, that's a label, and the colorway's up here. I think it says 1602 if you want to take a screen grab of that. I didn't end up having enough yarn for the pattern. It is considered a 3-weight yarn or a DK, but I treated it more like a 4-weight, and I used a larger hook. I believe the hook was a 6.5 millimeter. So that was that one predominantly. So I had to go ahead and make up some substitute yarns. And because I had lots of color that matched, but in lighter weight, I had to hold a couple of yarns together. So 3 balls of this was added into it, and that is the Knit Picks Upcycle Alpaca Blend, and the color of this one was Sea Glass. And I held that together in the first section with a Cloudborne fiber, and it is called the Merino Super Wash Sock Twist in the Grey Heather, and that was a fingering weight, so a fingering weight and a 2-weight sport weight. I held those for the first section. Then I had to use another ball of the alpaca, actually used another 2 balls of this Upcycle Alpaca Blend, and I held it together with Hobbies Alpaca Silk and the colorway of this one was called I think called Beach Pebbles. They don't have the name of this one on the ball band, but it does say color number 5. So this is a sport weight. Sorry, it says it's fingering weight, number 1. And I held it with the alpaca blend for completing it. So there were a couple of substitute yarns in there, and I will go more into this pattern makes, all the things that I discovered that I had done wrong in it, and all of the challenges, the wonderful finds as well, and rewards in my update video. But for now, I just want to show you the finished item, which goes along with mood board number 1. Here it is here. Oh my goodness. I would be like so wowed if this was worn to a cinema or a theater. I could imagine this being such a wonderful piece to wear, especially when the cinemas get slightly colder, like the air conditioning's on, and this will be just a lovely throw that you could wear as like a shawl over your ensemblage. It would be amazing. So I'm super happy with it. It's such a wonderful piece. The edging is intricate, beautiful, and it gives me that architectural feel that I was looking for with the plaster casts. So this is my mood board number 1. I will be doing another one to one of the mood boards that I'm going to present to you now. So I'm going to do another 3. So the next one that I have for you is, okay, this is a good one. I'll put this one up as number 2, and you should see it on screen now. It's called Stimulation, Excitement, Adventure. So all of these bits and bobs that I've put in here on this mood board are exciting tile work. They're giving me mosaic, they're giving me multiple colors, lots of little disjointed fragments. There's patterning, there's order, but there's also chaos, which gives you that nice juxtaposition of excitement. So, okay, I'm going to ask Editing Gary to take that off now, and I will show you what I've got down here that goes alongside something like this. Okay, the pattern that I chose for the second mood board of excitement, adventure, and stimulation is this pattern here called Night Shift, and it's by Christopher Salas. I really wanted to do this pattern in the last mood board mail in the spring. It suited a lyric on a song that I had chosen, but this time round I think it suits the similar kind of excitement, that chaos and order feeling that the mosaic tiles get me or give me that I had in the mood board mail. And this is a paid for pattern, so I'm hoping that I can show you without any of the instructions what it looks like in full. Here's a little diagram with, I think this person might be Christopher, not sure, but it's very much a mosaic style, little tiles bordered with big stripes, and it asks for 2 colors. And in true Gary style, I am going to be looking at substituting if I need to, but I do, as the pattern indicates, I do have enough yarn here for the project in the 2 hanks and colors that I've chosen, but just in case I've got some more in there. So these are the 2 colors that I'll be choosing. So this one here is a more, it's more aqua teal, and this one is more of a ice cold blue with some speckles in it. I think that will work. Nice, enough contrast there between the 2 to create the windows and create all those lovely striping effects that border those little windows. So the yarn, let's take a look. This one was a gift given to me from a friend of the channel called Reese. Hi Reese, I absolutely love this yarn. It's from Miss Babs, and it's from the color collection pack called Caroline, and the color is called Aquarius. It is fingering weight yarn. It's super soft. It's definitely one that rates in the high 4s out of 5, 5 being the highest in my softness scale. And this one is a combination of 70% superwash merino, 20% cashmere, 10% nylon, and getting 400 yards or 365 meters. So yeah, love that color. It's got a little bit of a sheen to it, and it plays in the light very nicely. Second one was one that I picked up from a Destash sale that was happening on Etsy, and this is Murray & Co. Wool Goods, and this is the second color. It's called Not Now Arctic Penguin. Kind of reminds me of a series on Netflix. It's a classic sock weight yarn. It's 75-25 superwash merino and nylon. So that's 75 superwash merino, 25% nylon. And I'm getting 463 yards in this 100-gram hank. So those are the two that will go with the Night Shift pattern by Christopher Salas. So I think they will work up very well. And my substitutes, in case I do run out of yarn, are here as well. I have this one, which is a teal. Kind of looks very similar to this one, maybe a bit darker, but in the similar family. So that will be my sub. And if I do run out of the lighter blue, I'm thinking of adding in interest in one of the striping borders with a mohair, which is this one here. And this one came in I think it was a Creamer Mystery box yarn, and I might have over dyed it a little bit more. I'm not sure, or if it came like this. So yeah, I might choose that as one that will be a bordering color. So in all, I do think that these would make good substitutes for each other in case I do run out. So yeah, that's those ones there. Now, moving right along, I'm going to be overlaying the next mood board, which is mood board number 3. And this one I did a little bit of a cheat because I put in some nature shots. Now, as I mentioned before, I did make these mood boards a while back, and I was looking at this one to support my feeling and emoting and emotion, and I hadn't quite discovered yet what I was doing with my theme. So you'll see the transition from the nature shots. It still has a construction kind of idea or theme to it, but it's more of a nature kind of like construction and architectural kind of look and feel. So here it is here. It's protection, safety, security. So I was looking at wrought iron fences, the designs that you see in maybe also wrought iron gates, protecting property, also in a wrought iron style fireplace shield that is in front of the fire, so as it's crackling away, nothing spills out into the open room. And as you can see there's other fences that I'm seeing, the kind of patterning in carved wood, as well as heavy security doors that kind of look beautiful but provide a protective element to them. Shells and cones, I'm also feeling the same thing in nature. They do the same thing, protecting their seeds or protecting the morsels that live within inside them. So hopefully Editing Gary has taken that away, and let's take a look at the pattern that I've chosen. This is a crochet pattern, and this is the one that I'm thinking I might be doing first. I'm not too sure, or maybe the Night Shift shawl. And time permitting, hopefully I can get to both of them. But this again is a Yaga Yaga, and it is their Opera Act 3. and it's similar to the plaster cast, but I'm going to be using a different yarn to promote the feeling of the wrought iron and that kind of security that the wrought iron gives in a fence or in some type of shield. And again, Yaga Yaga are a Polish designer, and this is heavily charted. I might just close the window because I can hear some type of mowing going on out there. So hopefully a closed window, you won't be able to hear the power tool that someone in the neighborhood is using. Cross fingers. And so we were up to talking about the yarn that I was going to use for the Opera Act 3, which is going to be the direct link of pattern and make to the third mood board. And this is the yarn that I've chosen to use. It was also one that I wanted to do for the last mood board mail that I did, but I have since found that this one works so well with the protective and security and safety kind of mood board that I've created for this architectural inspired evoked emotion. And so yeah, I'm using the Hobby yarn. Dahlia is the brand or the collection, and Hobby sent me this as a generous offering, and I'm going to be also linking down below a affiliate link to Hobby if you are interested in going to check them out and want to purchase something from Hobby. So a small kickback will be sent my way from Hobby if you are to use the link. And yeah, same with Knit Picks. I also have an affiliate link for Knit Picks as well, which I'm going to show you some of their beautiful yarn in another make that I have in a mood board. So yeah, this is the Dahlia, and the colorway that you're seeing here is a number. It's 09, and I believe it was something like rose chocolate. So it goes from a dusty rose into a chocolate brown. Love that. So what else can I tell you? It's 100% cotton. They are made up of 4 loose strands, and it gradates from this lovely center pull, where I will be starting my opera if I do decide to go this route. I'll be starting from the center. The light stuff will be in the middle, and the dark stuff will be towards the edge. And I'm going to alternate. So I'll do 1 row up and back with this ball or cake, and then I'll attach this row, this one here, and do the next row up and back with this one, so I don't run out of yarn. And that way I don't have to break my color. Might be a slight clipping there if the color changes in one ball quicker than the other. That way I can, monitor that as I'm going row by row, and I'll carry the yarn on one side. So that's the idea. We'll see how it works. And what else can I tell you? It's 2-weight yarn, they're saying here, and it's easy care instructions, so I can machine wash this on gentle if I wish, but lay flat to dry. And yeah, so that's it. Nice. It's kind of a drier cotton yarn. So if you are thinking of using a yarn from the Dahlia collection, then maybe have some hand moisturizer to protect your tools, which are your hands, so that you can continue crocheting and enjoying your makes. So yeah, that was number 3 of my mood board. Okay, the 4th and final mood board I have here to share with you. I'll present it now. Its keywords are calm, peace, rest. Now, these are images that I collected that are inspired from architecture, and it's stained glass windows, either in a Gothic cathedral or a church. It does give me that sense of when light comes in and plays on these wonderful, beautiful tones, rich blues and purples. There's orange in there, and there's also hints of red occasionally. So I absolutely feel that when I go into a space where lighting comes through stained glass, and it might even be stained glass like Tiffany pieces as well, when the light comes through a Tiffany lamp, I get the same sense of how spiritual and how restful all the colors play on the walls in the room. So I do like the archways as well, that generally are the framing of those stained glass windows, and the shapes are very elongated and grand. So those are the types of feelings and emotions that I'm trying to depict. So hopefully editing Gary has taken away that picture, and I will just grab the next one. Okay, what yarn did I choose to resemble that stained glass mood board that I created and showed? Well, there's quite a number of them. Here they are here. And they're a mixture of different collections, different brands from Knit Picks, as well as one from Ice, which is one of my newfound favorite ice yarns that I have used before in the past and am dying to use again in this project. So if time permits and allows, these are going to be all used in a project. And I've gone backwards. I normally show you the pattern first. But anyway, let's look at the yarn and then I'll show you the pattern that I'm thinking of putting them in. The first one here, it all kind of came from that wonderful mood board, but then I found the perfect yarn that shows all of those wonderful purples, blues, reds into oranges in this one hank. Now this is the Fingering Weight Muse collection from Knit Picks, and it's a 1 weight, and it's machine washable, and you can tumble dry this on low, but I would hand wash. The color of this one is the color Elation. So stemming from this and the mood board, I decided to add in a few more colors to give that vibrancy of stained glass. And this one here is Twill Fingering Weight, another collection from Knit Picks, and the colorway is called Serpent Heather. I love this color. It's beautiful and bright. So that one. And this one here is also another Muse, and this one is Fingering Weight. The colorway is called Savvy. So it's got more of the jeansy, it's a teal, it's a dark teal, but it's got also a little bit of that jeans wash blue in it, so that it's slightly tonal with those two colors. Those two. And I've got a green here as well. I'm not sure whether I'll put this one in, but I do like the color, and it is called Jade, and it's the Twill again. The last one that I have is to frame it all, and I've got 2 hanks of these if I need more of the color, and it's from Ice Yarn. It's called Hand Dyed Merino Extra Fine Yarn, and it is, I believe, in the colorway called Forged Iron. That one is also a fingering weight yarn. It says here it's 2 sport weight, but it looks very much like the others that I have here. So I'm doing all of that. If by chance there's too much of the green, because I've got Jade and I have this one here as well, the Serpent, I will keep the Serpent. And I have another color in Knit Picks, which is a red color. Is it that one there? No, it's not that one. Here it is. It's from Twill. I might add the red in. And this color is called Crab Apple Heather. So there is a little bit of the red in this Muse colorway called Elation. So I'm not sure. What would you do? Would you have the Jade or would you have the Crab Apple? So there's the colors. And there's the one that I'm thinking I might use because it's a little lighter, but I'm not sure. You tell me. I'd love to hear your opinions on which color would be best related to a stained glass giving the sense of rest and calm. So the pattern that I have chosen, I haven't purchased it yet, but I'm just gonna show you on my screen. It's called, what is it called? It's knitted, and it's called the Peacock Feather Shawl. I thought that reminded me of a lot of the stained glass. Do they have another example of it? Let's try this one. I do like that. That's really cool. Yeah. So those are the four that I have to share with you. If you are inclined to not being able to be inspired on something that you can put together yourself, you can use one of the four for your project as well that I've presented, or you could put something together for yourself. When you are submitting your makes and your mood board, please put them into 2 separate files and email them to me before August the 15th, 2024. And I'd love to put them into a slideshow presentation. Don't forget to put what pattern you chose, whether you use a certain specific yarn that you'd like to talk about in the email, and I will notate all of that. So when I do my slideshow presentation, I'll be able to add and include all of that information down in the description box below for sometime after August the 15th. I generally like to have around 4 or 5 days to put all of the entries into a software package where I can make my slideshow and then notate all of the details on each of the makes. So the only thing that I request is that the make needs to be done within the time frame of the 8 or so weeks up until August the 15th, starting today, and that you choose projects. Either you can use your own design or design from a pattern that you have purchased, or a free pattern, and that you use more than 75 grams. It can be all different types of yarn. They don't have to be the same yarn that make up the 75 grams or more. So hats are okay. You could probably get that amount of yarn in mittens, scarves, anything that you want. The world is your oyster, as long as it does have 75 grams of yarn being used in the project. Yeah, and submit them to me before August the 15th. I'll put them in the slideshow. I think I mentioned that. I'm repeating myself. And I really look forward to seeing all of your makes. Now, if you're needing some further help on inspiration on any of the patterns that I have discussed, also the mood board mail, I've created a bundle of free and paid for patterns in a Ravelry bundle collection that you can visit as well. I'll include that down below in the description box. It does mean that you need to have a Ravelry, I think you have to have a Ravelry account to be able to see the bundles. But if you do, that's great. If you don't, you can email me to say, hey, I'm having trouble. Can you actually send me each of the names? I think there's probably around 9 or 10 in there, and of those 9 or 10, you've probably seen 3 of them. You've seen 4 of them already. So let me know and I'll help you out as much as I can. And with that, I think that catches you up on everything. I will be getting back in here shortly to give you an update on makes, as well as some Q&A questions that I had yet to answer. And I hope that you're doing well and that you are excited about joining in, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.